They told you 500K wasn't enough to retire on. They were wrong. And in today's video, I'm going to show you why you've had the wrong retirement strategy all along. Yo, what is going on, Premium Chasers? Every single person that comments down below is going to get my 5 income streams for retirement income to create real income from retirement, not just extracting whatever you've got left. If you want that free ebook, just drop a comment down below. Everybody's going to get it for free. But of course, you got to hit like and you got to subscribe. Today, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a strategy that's going to help you produce an income in your retirement years. Now, here's the thing. Retirement isn't a number. And I need you to get that first limiting belief that you have in your brain. Retirement isn't a number. It's a strategy, right? Some of us, we want to be retired by 40 and we want to be hanging around doing nothing. Listen, that ain't me. I don't ever plan to quote unquote retire in the traditional sense. I love to work. I love to create, right? That's besides the point. But those are the times where you need to have your money actually being able to work for you to produce an income. Not what most people think of retirement. Hey, I've got my $1 million portfolio and I'm just going to be taking about 4% and then, that should last me until 80 and I'll be dead by then. Sad way to live, in my opinion. What you want to do is actually be able to create money without working. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to assume you have about $500,000 set aside that you want to create income, an actual paycheck for yourself. Okay. So let's kind of go full circle and show you. So what we're going to be doing something is called the SPY wheel, right? Sounds scary, but it's not. I'm going to show you why this is really, really cool, right? So when we look at SPY over time, we can see if we just go over the past 5 years, let's do max. SPY has always gone and hit all-time highs. SPY obviously is tracks the S&P 500. It's a self-cleansing ETF, meaning the crap leaves, the good stuff stays. Right? It's diversified already, and as we said, has always hit all-time highs. Of course, we've got like the bumps and bruises along the way, right? But for the most part, we always hit all-time highs. If history repeats itself, we should always hit all-time highs again. How can we now use this to actually create income? And this is called the weekly SPY wheel, okay? So let's go over to the trade option section. I know you're scared. You've probably had terrible experience with options. I have too. Buying options is a risk. You know what we do? We actually take that money from those options buyers, that money that you paid for those contracts, and we get that money. Let me show you what I'm talking about because some of you probably don't even know what options are, but let me show you all full circle. We're going to click sell. We're going to click put. I'm going to go out 7 days, right? We'll go out 7 days. What I'm saying here is I'm willing to buy 100 shares of SPY on May 2nd in 7 days from now. Now, for me just saying maybe I would buy those shares, I'm going to get paid premium income up front. Let me show you. SPY is currently trading at 546, right? So we obviously don't want to buy it at 546. That's what the dumb money. That's what the retail investors do. You're smart, right? You know how to handle your own money, right? So what we can actually do is we can say, hey, you know what? If this thing hits, let's say 535. Let's say this thing hits 535 in 7 days. It's currently at 546. If it hits 535, I'll buy it. Okay? In 7 days. Now for that, we would actually collect $416. Let me put this into our calculator. Everything is free on the channel. This is free inside of the Facebook group. Link is in the description. All these tools and stuff, I'll share it with you. 535, right? $535 times 100 is $53,500, right? What is that? Well, listen, your brokerage, right? They need you to back up what you're saying, right? If you're saying, hey, I'm willing to buy 100 shares at 535, right? You better have the money to back it up, whether you're doing it on margin, which I usually don't recommend, or cash in your account. You better have that money, right? So we're buying it at 535 here, maybe buying it at 535, and we're going to wrap up about $53,000 in our collateral. Now, how much can we do? Well, let's say you do have $500,000, right? We'll go a little bit less. We'll say 9 contracts, so we're exactly roughly around on the money, right? $481,000, right? And if you open 9 contracts in 1 week, you'd be given $3,744. That's about a 0.78% return in a single week, okay? Full transparency and show you how this all looks like. What can happen? Because some of you are be like, oh, this is too good to be true. This is a scam. This doesn't work. What the hell is this? How have I not heard about this before? Well, they want to keep you broke is why you've never heard about this before. And your financial advisor sure as hell doesn't want you to hear about this, right? But a few things can happen. Number one, it hits 535. It hits 530. It hits 500. You're on the hook to buy those shares at 535. Why do I? Is that a bad or is that a good thing? What look, Pete? What is it? What should I do? Right? I'll get that at point in a minute. If you actually have to buy, right? You will have to buy your shares at 100 shares if it hits 535. Okay, stay with me on that point. Now your contract could expire worthless. Most of the time, actually, it expires worthless. Right? We use this number called the delta to judge about roughly the percentage chance that we get assigned. You can see that the delta here is a 0.30. That basically means there's about a 30% chance that SPY will hit 535 and you will have to buy it. But there's a 70% chance that that SPY stays above $535 and your contract expires worthless, your collateral is released to you, and then you run another play for 7 days again and collect another premium income for yourself. Okay? Staying with me? So, those are really the two scenarios that can happen. You end up having to buy your shares at 535, or you have to your contract will expire worthless and your collateral is released to run the play again. But you can see right now, if you did this trade with your 500K, you'd collect $3,700 today upfront. That is cash immediately deposited into your account. Okay. So let's say best case scenario, I don't mind getting assigned, right? Because I'm going to show you how you can make more money because that's going to eventually happen to you. Eventually you will have to buy, right? It'll just happen. Obviously, but for the most part, if we're staying around that delta, around that 0.30, most of the time our options contract will expire worthless and we just walk away with the premium. Right? And an annualized return of about 40% if we're able to do that trade every single week, which obviously is not realistic. You're going to get assigned at times. So let's assume, right, you get assigned, right? You actually bought it at 535, right? You ended up having to buy them. Now you're, let's say the stock hit like 534 or 530. You ended up having to buy it at 535. Just stay with me, okay? So you bought it for 535. Right now, your 53,500 or your 500,000 is taken from you, and now you have shares at 535. Let's say it dropped to 530. 520. Oh my goodness gracious. Pete, what have you done? Right? Again, SPY has a tendency to always hit all-time highs, right? So worst case scenario, you might have to hold SPY for a little bit. But during that time when you're holding SPY, you can then do the other side of the wheel strategy, and that is to collect more income, now putting your shares on the line, not your actual money. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So now we come back into our account. We got our 100 shares or however many shares we have. Now we're going to sell a call. Now what we're saying is hey, I'm willing to sell my 100 shares or my 900 shares of SPY for a price that I choose, and I get paid premium upfront just for saying maybe. This is called a covered call, right? So now we go back about 7 days again, and now obviously we pick a strike price, a share price above what we paid for. So if we paid it for 535, sell it for more. Sell it for 545, sell it for 546, whatever is more. So we'll just use this 546 as an example. Again, these numbers are going to look different for you, okay? I don't want to go up too much because the premiums obviously are a lot better as you're closer to the share price. If we bought at 535, I know some of you like to argue in the comments because you're the TikTok brains and you can't understand that this is an example, and I understand like it's just crazy to you. It's crazy to use common sense, but we'll just stay around 550 so the premiums aren't absolutely insane, and then I'll show you it. But I gotta put that disclosure in there because some of you can't use the common sense. Ain't so common in this world no more. All right. So let's say, right, you want to now sell the shares that you got at 535 for 550. You set your expiration for 7 days, right? And we're saying we're going to sell them for 550. Now for that, we would collect $623. We'll go to our covered call calculator. Now again, it's all free, baby. It's in our Facebook group. Go join. Right. The link is in description. We're collecting 614. right here, we'll put our premium. Our strike of the option that we're saying we're willing to sell our shares at is 550, right? Put 550 right there. This is simple, guys. Look at this. Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I am not that smart of an individual. Purchase strike price. We purchase them for 535. And we get our premium return, which is 535 times 100, right? Or times however many your shares you have, right? I just have it set to 100, but if in our example we had like 900 shares because we did 9 contracts, we can all do simple math. Even I can do simple math, right? We're getting about 1.15% return because we essentially this is our money, right? Even though your collateral now is the actual shares, but I still like to see what my premium return is going to be, right? Now, if I end up selling my shares in this example, our profit on shares would be $1,500. Now, again, there's a big spread here right now. For the sake of this example, you'll probably be around closer to $1,000 of profit on your shares. For those of you that are keyboard warriors, right? For a total profit of around $2,100, and then on your assigned leg, which you collected $416, right? You collected $2,500 on one contract. So if you really want to, and we'll say, let's just say 2,000. So 2,000 a week, you roughly get every 2 weeks times 9. You're collecting about $18,000 every 2 weeks if all the legs of the wheel get assigned. Let me show you what that means. I want to set realistic expectations here for you. Okay. So, but I think all of us can live on that, which would be fantastic, right? So, how does this all work? What do you mean, Pete, with like assignment? Like, does it have give me everything here. So I'm going to kind of go off right now so you guys, it makes all sense. Number one, we first open up that sell put, right? We said we were going to buy it at 535. Most of the time, because of that delta, right, we're not going to get assigned, right? You'll get assigned about 30% of the time, and 70% of the time, you're not going to get assigned. If you don't like those numbers, you go down further, right? I can go down to the 530s. Now, you'll collect a little bit less premium here, but that's all good. You'll collect $354 in premium, but that's fine, right? So, and you can even go lower if you want to, right? If you really want to go lower, you can go all the way to 521. You collect 200, right? Or even as low, literally, you could just keep going, right? So that's totally your risk level. You got to make those decisions for yourself, how aggressive you want to be, how much of a, quote unquote paycheck you want, okay? I like to be a bit between a 0.20 and 0.30 delta. So I'm only getting assigned between 20 to 30% of the time. The same thing goes for when I sell the call 7 days later, right? This 550 has about a 42.42 delta. So 42% chance that's gonna get there. Why is it saying that? Well, we've had a bit of a nice rebound in the market right now. So there's a lot more of a positive sentiment right now in the market. So there is a lot more of a chance, right? That SPY will hit that number by next week. But we can keep going up, right? Like if we wanted to be, not so aggressive, right, and we want to do the covered calls, right, you can go to the 560s, right? You'll still collect about $211 of premium for that trade, and this delta is a 0.21, so only about a 21% chance of assignment and about an 80% chance of literally nothing happening. Now, here's the thing, guys, and I'm going to actually pull a graphic because you guys really enjoyed this, but I'm not sure if everybody, I'm going to assume you don't watch every single video here on the channel because I do enjoy talking about this every single day. But so I'm going to assume you didn't see this graphic. But it's really important. You should screenshot it for yourself, whatever you got to do. This is what the strategy is, okay? First thing we're doing is we're selling that put, right? So we're saying we're willing to buy those 100 shares of SPY. Right? We wait a week. Did we get assigned? Meaning, did we have to buy the shares? No? Okay, not a problem. Our collateral is returned back to us. We sell another put. Okay? So when I show you these kind of returns that you're getting, in this specific case, you collect your 416, your collateral will be freed up, and then you can collect, again, the number won't be exactly the same, but just assume it's another around $400. You collect another $400 the following week. Obviously, times that by, 9 if you're playing with around 500K. Right? And you could keep doing that. You would keep doing that thing, right? Until you actually get assigned, right? You keep selling that put until you get assigned. So you get assigned? No. We're hanging out in this part of the wheel, right? Eventually, though, you will get assigned. Eventually, it's going to happen. It might take a while, but that's fine because you're still collecting premium. Eventually, when you get assigned, now we are using our 100 shares or 900 shares as our collateral. So we're selling a call. right? So we could sell our call. Did we get assigned? No. Okay, we come back, collect more premiums, say we're willing to sell it. Obviously, right, you bought them for a lower price, sell them for more than what you bought it for. Common sense, right? So I just want to make sure you guys know that. Did you get assigned? No. We kind of hang out here. Eventually, you're going to sell your shares, right? And you're going to collect that profit on the shares, right? Plus the premium from the cash secured put. Those premiums are paid up front. You are given that up front. That's coming from the options buyers. That's our juice button. All right. Those are those gamblers. They're all out there just gambling, throwing out poker chips, hoping something happens. Well, we're the turtles, slow and steady, just collecting their premiums. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a comment, and I'm going to give you our retirement playbook. This is basically the 5 income streams that I plan to use to actually make money in retirement, not just kind of like living off however much money I have and dying, right? So if you want that ebook, make sure to hit a comment, drop a comment down below. I'll personally send it over to you. And while you're down there, what you doing? Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you are somebody that would actually want more of a hands-on approach with me, again, everything here on the channel is free, but some of you that want to work one-on-one with me, I do have a paid 1-year incubator where I basically help you set this up for yourself, and it takes about a year to really become really good at this stuff because as you see, we don't really trade a lot as option sellers. We're kind of paid to be patient, which is really nice and fits into my lifestyle. I don't know about yours. I'm not sitting in front of no screens all day. I'm enjoying my life. So if you want a little bit more of a hands-on approach with that, that's called our incubator, and I'll leave that link down below in the description of today's video. But guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I will see y'all tomorrow.